Hi, I'm Brisha Bowie, founder and CEO of MyElle. I'm here today with Dr. Ginger Bowler. Ginger is a native of New Orleans, Louisiana, who now lives and works in Colorado. She is the protégé of the renowned healer and master herbalist, Hanna Kroeger, ND. Ginger earned her doctorate in energy medicine from Holos University Graduate Seminary in Missouri, where she did her doctoral work on Hanna Kroeger's teachings. In addition to teaching Hanna Kroeger's work, she has taught BioGenesis, quantum biofeedback certification, photobiomodulation, light therapy certification programs, and understanding energy courses. Ginger has been working in the natural healing arts for 33 years as a practitioner and an instructor, and she's the co-founder of Light and Energy Training Seminars. And Ginger has also become one of the lights in my life, and I definitely couldn't keep her a secret any longer. So hi, Ginger. Thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Well, thank you, Bree. Yeah, it's fun working with you too. I really love the opportunity to add your product to our understanding and make that available to the world.
Definitely. And you're definitely qualified. So let's get right to it. What exactly is energy medicine?
Well, you can think of energy medicine as the natural healing arts or complementary and alternative medicine. When you think about it, but using some sort of an intervention, and oftentimes it's equipment like light therapy or biofeedback, or you've mentioned biogenesis, but it could be herbs, homeopathics, but some intervention that's going to stimulate the body's own intelligence for the body to then heal itself, rather than we think of it in traditional allopathy, traditional medicine, even though it's changing a lot right now. But in traditional medicine, it's often treat the symptom, not go for the cause. So in energy medicine, we're going for really the life force and the energy of the body to heal itself.
Right. Instead of like medication and surgery and stuff like that.
Right, which oftentimes is masking the symptom, and sometimes surgery is necessary. I mean, Hanna said that. She said, if you can't heal an organ and that organ is going to kill you if you don't take it out, then you should take it out.
Obviously, yeah.
I say, our creator didn't just go, oh, 2 kidneys, you don't really need 2, but I'm going to give you 2, like, if we can keep those 2 kidneys in the body, we'd like to do that. But sometimes surgery is necessary. However, we're always going for surgery not being necessary.
Definitely. And then can you explain your journey to get to light and a little bit about your experience with Hanna Kroeger and that process that you went through and journey following her and studying her work?
Sure. Well, my undergraduate degree is health and physical education. So I've always had a great love for playing. You thought I was going to say the body, right? I know, I saw your face. But I have had a great love for the human body, but for having fun and playing and being outdoors and whatever. So I didn't figure out what I was going to be when I grew up till I met Hanna at the age of 33. And that's a really spiritual year for many people, where you're defining your path. So I met Hanna, and I was pretty much just having a good time, and born and raised in New Orleans, just trying to be healthy during the week and partying on the weekend. I mean, that was my life. And but my niece got sick, and I had a conversation with God. Actually, said, I know you. Hello, God, it's me, Ginger, and you might not know me because I never think about you. I never talk to you. I never do any unless I need something. Like I wanted a new car, I'd make a bargain. I'll put $10 in the poor box if you give me a new car. I want a new relationship. I'll stop cursing. I never get my word ever. Well, but that was the relationship I had with our creator until my niece got sick. Yeah. And watching my sister potentially lose her baby, it was too much for me. And and put me on my path, actually. So I had the conversation with God, and it went exactly like this. Hello, God, I don't think you know me because I never talk to you. I never think about you. But if you will heal my niece, I will do your work. And this time I'm going to keep my word. And 3 weeks later, I met my teacher, Hanna Kroeger. I knew I didn't know what the heck she was talking about most of the time, but in the natural healing arts, and she was connecting all the bodies, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, and saying that understanding a disease and sickness was not that hard. The 7 causes of sickness are generally, and she was connecting it. So at that point, I knew I wanted what she had. I didn't know what that was, but I wanted to be able to help people.
Yeah.
And I started studying her work immediately. I placed my first order for her product that weekend of that first seminar, and she did subsequently. My niece, she gave us some homeopathic remedies, and all the tumors that were all over her body cleared up in it took about 9 months totally, but it started working right away. And she had tumors everywhere. She was 4 years old. Her twin didn't have the issue, but she did. And that really put me on my path. And I wanted to, well, first of all, I wasn't ever able to take pharmaceutical medications, even as a young child. They just didn't work for my body. So it was a process that I could see looking back in my life that this was supposed to happen.
Right.
I was taking herbs and vitamins and stuff with my, paying for it with my babysitting money.
Well, I think we all become healers, right? Because we go through things, or things are happening to our bodies that we just go on the hunt to fix it, and because there's no answer. So.
Right. And I learned at a very early age that the stomach problems that I was having, the doctors thought I was faking it. So I learned that I was going to have to learn to help myself, so that's why I started, read at the time. The Prevention magazine was a real holistic journal, and it was the only thing that we had that would, so I was spending all my money, my babysitting money, on buying vitamins and minerals, and I was learning at that time. But it wasn't until the age of 33 that I actually met Hanna and really got on my path. And so Hanna was always learning. And she told us 33 years ago, 34 years, or however many years it's been now since I met her, 1987 or 88, something like that. She told us that in the future, healing would come from color, sound, and light. And I remember thinking, nah, no, no. I mean, I was the doubting Thomas. I don't call myself that anymore, but that was just too far out. I believed most of what she said, but that was just too far out.
So
but here we are. Here we are. We have the MyElle. Look, we have the color and the wavelengths of, and we have the light. And every organ and system of the body, every cell needs light. So that's really the journey along the way. Hanna died in 1998, May of 1998, and till the day she died, she was learning. She never stopped learning and teaching, and she'd learn and then she'd teach us. She was a master herbalist, a homeopath. She was so many, a minister, a metaphysician, you name it, she was that. Yeah. And she instilled that in us. Keep learning. When you find something that works, share it. She said, learn to help yourself and turn around and help your fellow human being. So that's what we're doing. And that led us, I guess, since we have a light therapy certification program, and you found us because of that. Then it was, but I'm my own guinea pig, so my family, or I have to know that something works if I'm going to put my life behind it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I can't sell anything. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're so good at sales and you're good with people." And I'm like, "No, I believe in what I'm selling and I believe in what I'm talking about." So,
Yeah.
and I want to know more. I want to educate myself more. And that's really what the MyElle platform is for, is to educate people. It's not just about the product, but it's about educating them in all aspects of light and also wellness and just the body and how it works. And because in order to heal something, I feel like you need to understand what's going on first. You can't just go, "Oh, I have a stomach pain," but where's it coming from, right? So that's it. I watched a podcast or something you did recently, or a post on Facebook about, you were talking about the line and living above the line or below the line. And, it seems like you made that decision to live above the line after, and through Hanna and the teachings and all of that, after your niece got sick, and you just made a conscious choice to do that. So that's amazing.
Shameless self-promotion. I didn't mean to show the.
No, yeah.
But this is the book of understanding energy, and it's about chasing healers around the planet, and mostly Hanna, and what I learned by chasing them. And it's called Listening and Communicating with Energy. But it was because of Hanna that and because she had great vision, so she could look at a person and say, it's your left kidney, or you haven't forgiven your brother, or it was incredible to watch her work like that. And so she would talk about things being high vibration. She was a little German woman, and she made me look tall. I'm 5'5", if I stand up real straight. And she made me look tall. So she'd come about right here, and she was precious. And she would say, "Oh, that has such a high vibration." And if something wasn't good, she'd go, "Oh, that has no vibration." And so I started categorizing in my mind, oh, high is good. I didn't, at the time, 1987, 1988, vibration was like, you heard the song Vibrations. That's as much as I knew about what vibration meant.
Right.
So she would, I started categorizing, well, there's this line, and if it's good, she's smiling and looking up. And if something has a no vibration or a low vibration, she's frowning and, looking down. So that, because I was really struggling to understand this whole phenomenon about vibration and energy and life force, and what makes us have the life we want to live, and what makes it, where we're self-sabotaging. Because mostly what's making us unhappy is not other people.
It's true.
It's not. It's our perception of what's occurring anyway.
Definitely. Yeah. No, that's very well put. So just to circle back to light and, your journey in light, can you explain, I think people have trouble understanding, and I'm taking your course right now, so I'm really immersed in it. But just sort of a kind of Cole's notes of like, what is light? What is it doing? Where is it coming from? Because I think the spectrums and all that is very confusing for people.
Well, really breaking it down, reducing it to what makes a difference right now in this conversation, because of MyElle and the wand. What we're dealing with is a visible spectrum of light. There are many, many octaves of light. Okay. But for our conversation, which X-rays and, all kinds of things, microwave and radio waves are all octaves, of light. Okay. But what we're talking about is the visible spectrum, and where we're using red and blue in MyElle to give the body the information that it needs to heal itself. Why would that be? Well, one of the things is because when we flood the system with enough light, the body will release nitric oxide, not nitrous oxide. Now that's like laughing gas, but nitric, it's a gas. And in the presence of nitric oxide, there are so many physiological processes that are improved or enhanced. Okay. They're like a reduction of inflammation, an increase in circulation, et cetera, et cetera. So going back to Hanna and Hannah's way of making things simple for us, her favorite quote, and this is one of the reasons I knew that you were one of our people, you know, that you were on the same wavelength basically as we were, was when I went to your website right in the very beginning, and you had one of Hanna, this quote of Hannah's, okay, and we teach it in every class, no matter if we're teaching a class on biofeedback or light therapy or herbs or Hannah's work or whatever. But here's the quote: "The body is the most brilliant computer that was ever designed. There will never be a computer smarter than the human body. Given the proper information or the proper encouragement, the body heals itself." So the reason we use light and light therapy now, you know, before you, well, we were using, our colleagues, our friends, our families, we're using mostly a pad-based system where we were placing the light externally. With the MyElle wand, we are really targeting the reproductive organs, the vaginal health and wellness, our sexual wellness, and we're able to actually get the light inside of the body, which is brilliant. And quite honestly, I never considered it before MyElle. That it just never occurred to me. So am I answering your question?
Yeah. And then also, you know, exactly what is light doing to the cell, you know, because I know, obviously, I know the answer, you know, I explain it like it releases, you know, the ATP and all of that.
Yeah, it makes this, well, the listener wants to know that it's making the cell work better, more efficiently, give it more energy. So, you know, yes, there's the science behind it is with the ATP, and but for the end user, it's making your cells do what they're supposed to do, release the toxins, okay, and be fueled and have more energy, so it can do the work it was meant to do. Is that fair?
Yeah. And then we also have trouble, right, breaking down food into energy when we have disease or anything like that happening. Correct?
Right. Yes.
Interesting. No, I mean, and I want our listeners and our customers to just love light and understand light for the whole body, you know? So, and I know that you also sell and work with the pad-based systems, which I worked with for years, in a different avenue doing body sculpting. But I mean, the side effects, the positive side effects from the body sculpting was, you know, oh my gosh, my scar from my appendix coming out is gone, or oh my gosh, like I don't have pain in my hip anymore, or, you know, my hand, I was off work and now I can actually move it. I can't believe this, you know, getting off workers' comp and that kind of thing. So light is just a beautiful thing all around.
Right, and if we think about the light is stimulating the release of nitric oxide, which is in the body anyway, the healthier we are, the more nitric oxide we're naturally releasing. So if we have anything that can actually help it release more, like light, okay, then, you know, inflammation's reduced. I mean, there's so many, there's a stimulation of collagen, which a lot of us, you know, we're really interested in that production. But there's, if you Google nitric oxide and you see all the physiological things that are enhanced in the presence of nitric oxide, it is so impressive. And it was in 1998 that 3 physicians won the Nobel Prize, some were PhDs, but they won the Nobel Prize for discovering what nitric oxide does in the body. Wow. So, you know, light, I mean, to be able to target the light with MyElle, or you know that I've learned a lot about women's health that I really didn't know. I thought I knew a lot, but I have 3 children. I didn't carry any of the 3 children. So a lot of the issues that women have had to deal with, like dropped uterus. I mean, of course, in our Hanna classes, we're, you know, talking about stuff like that, but to be able to, you know, and have some herbs and things, but to be able to have light literally available to that part of the body to help the circulation, because scar tissues formed, greatly a cause of scar tissue is because of the lack of circulation. So if we can get that nitric oxide and the lights, making the cells more efficient so that, yes, the circulation's increased, the inflammation's decreased, then it would make sense that even scarring would be helped.
Well, and we talk so much about, that the actual physical issues that we have as women and we're dealing with, or even men, all of us. And,
Right.
We don't talk often enough about light and sort of the emotional aspect of it, right? And so I'd like to just ask you a little bit about the emotional healing that can happen with light, especially with intimate health.
Right. Well, this is such a great question because, as you know, being the guinea pig, trying the MyElle, as soon as, you sent it to us, I'm like, okay, well, I got to use it myself. First thing I noticed was how awkward it was for me to talk about my results. And it was like, what? I mean, I talk constantly. I teach. I thought I was completely like, okay, sexually and all of that. Right. And so the first thing I noticed was the awkwardness around the topic. That's number one. Number two was, once I started using it, I started noticing what it was doing energetically in the body. I actually was not looking for that, even though that's normally what I'm looking for when I'm working with a product, is what effect it has on the energy field. And for a lot of people who know about the energy centers and things like that, like what effect that would have. But I don't know why I wasn't thinking about MyElle in that way until I started using it. And I was having flashbacks to memories, that things that bothered me growing up. I loved my Catholic upbringing, but there was a lot of around sexuality at the time. I'm not making anybody's religion wrong or whatever, but it was just a lot of stuff around sexuality. And so I started having memories and thoughts, and I realized, oh my God, I thought that I was totally cool with my sexuality and everything was good and I accept myself and all that. And until I started to use the MyElle, and I was like, wow, I have judgments around sexuality on myself.
Yes.
So now I really pay attention to it, and it happens every time. I will have, and you know how you don't know that certain things are connected to, you don't know that a certain memory might be connected. And so I started to realize we know that our cells hold memory, right. Especially, traumas and things. But I didn't have a sexual trauma. That wasn't it, except the self-judgment and other people's judgment as a gay person. I've been gay in my entire life. And there was so much stigma, especially back in the 80s and the 90s, and then, I had a partner for almost 30 years. And, we went through a lot of things about people thinking she ought to be having kids and, all that stuff. And all of that is in that cellular memory. And so still, now it's almost like it's fun to think, okay, what's the movie going to be this time?
What am I going to heal this time?
I'm going to heal this. Yes. And literally, I feel like I'm having miracles with using MyElle. Now, because we think our sexual organs are our power centers. Okay. And what it takes to run our life is life force. We have to have life force. So if your power center is kaput, it's really hard to get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
So it's not just about if we want to carry a baby or, it's way more than that to keep the need for keeping our sexual organs healthy is because that's our root. Our root and our base and our tribe and everything is connected to those lower centers.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and I mean, I think that, not just the MyElle, but using light all over the body. Because I know for me personally, I carry a lot of stuff in my stomach. and I get, and so I use the pads for my stomach when I feel,
absolutely.
Anxiety or stress or anything like that. And it's very helpful.
That's right.
It's so helpful all around. Well, thank you so much, Ginger, for taking the time to speak to us today. And if anybody wants to learn any more about energy, I mean, she is the source for sure. Can you just read your title of your book and maybe show it one more time?
Okay. It's called Listening and Communicating with Energy. And it's the story of chasing healers around, like I said, and there's the model for understanding energy in here, and but it's just a couple of pages and the 16 rules. But Marcy and I are working on another little booklet where it's just based on the 16 rules. And then my company name is Energy Events and Products. And I've just started to say, okay, besides just getting on YouTube and teaching an 1.5-hour class, which most people are not going to watch unless you're specifically want to understand that topic.
Right.
I'm going to, after I did that one the other day was, what do you want? That one.
Yes.
What do you want? By acting like that, because energetically people are just humanity is sabotaging itself, expecting to do a bunch of below the line things and get above the line. And it does not work that way. Energy does not work that way. So I'm going to start putting out a lot of little short 5 and 10 minute clips to teach the understanding energy free. And I connect it with then why we use the modalities we use, why we would use light, because of the effect on the energy field.
Right.
Yep. Hey, everybody needs to lighten up, like literally, because we want to be an uplifter. We want to uplift people. Well, that is energy.
Yeah.
We don't want to be depressed or a Debbie Downer. That's literally sucking someone or our own, energy out of our life force. And we need our life force to run our bodies, our lives, and our relationships.
We put it out in the world too. So, I mean, all the energy that we're feeling and we're putting it out to other people around us, whether it's just, even picking your child up from school and being around parents. And I mean, I know it's been COVID and we haven't been around too many people, but I think it's been positive on the energy side of things because people have been forced to look at themselves and sit with themselves, right? Instead of just projecting it onto everybody else, right?
One of the rules, 16 rules, is there's no such thing as hovering, because you're either moving up or down the vibrational scale with every thought, every interaction, every attitude. And so, I think this time where us being alone or being with our family unit and being so introspective has been critical, because I think as we get back out there in the world, we're so appreciative of being around, seeing people's faces. Who knew that the big thrill would be to see someone's smile, literally be able to see it, and not just imagine that they're smiling beneath the mask, right?
Totally. Well, thanks so much, Ginger. I really appreciate you taking the time. It's such valuable information, and I'm really glad that we can educate on light and energy, and all of your teachings and everything that you put out is so valuable. So, and
thank you for the MyElle wand, because again, I had no idea so many issues could be
around.
Helped.
Yeah, definitely.
With light inside the body. Okay. So anyway, thank you.
All right. Have a great day.
Thanks. You too.